Thank you for coming back to the channel. Thank you for taking the time to watch another video. It's your girl Chi, and we're going to continue with the last video in the Bantu Hebrews in South Africa series. So this is about truth only. It's not about race or color. It's about knowing the truth. In the last video, just to recap, and the last two videos, we learned that the Hebrews, were often mistaken as Egyptians, and they also fled to Africa when they were under siege or when there was famine in the land. We also learned that the Bantu expansion was actually the scattering of Israelites on the African continent. We learned that Ham is the father of the original Africans, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Canaanites, the Libyans. That Shem is the father of the Bantus, and Japheth is the father of the Jews from Khazaria. So today we're going to be learning about how to identify Yahweh's chosen people. So this was the plan of Satan from the beginning, to destroy any trace of God's people. Deuteronomy 28 gives us exactly how to identify his chosen people. Deuteronomy 28 reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." So these blessings and curses would actually be a sign, would actually be a way for the children of God, for the Israelites to actually discern if they were in the will of God or if they were out of the will of God, if they were walking in obedience or if they were walking in disobedience. So if they were walking in disobedience, bad things would start to happen that would alert even to themselves, that would trigger in themselves the realization that they are in disobedience to God, and then they would all come together and institute a national repentance, and then after that things would go back to normal again and the blessing would start to function. But now the question remains this: what happens when you take away a people's identity? If you take away the knowledge of who they are, who their God is, and their history, so that when things start to happen, when these bad things, when these signs start to happen, they don't know who they are. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to solve their problems. They don't understand that the judgment that's happening is spiritual and not physical. It's due to a broken covenant with their God, whom they don't know because they don't know their ancestors. It's very, very difficult. So in the next slides, I will be just listing a few of the curses, and I'm hoping that the pictures will kind of drive my point home. Deuteronomy Chapter 28, verse 49 and 51. "The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation whose fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thine kine, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. Verse 25. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed unto all the kingdoms of the earth. Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in the darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Verse 31. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. Verse 33. The fruits of thy land and all thine labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1 to 5. Here's what will happen. While you're out among the nations where God has dispersed you, and the blessings and the curses come in just the way I've set them before you, and you and your children take them seriously and come back to God, your God, and obey Him with all your heart and soul, according to everything that I command you today. God, your God, will restore everything you lost. He'll have compassion on you. He'll come back and pick up the pieces from all the places where you were scattered. No matter how far you end up, God, your God, will get you out of there and bring you back to the land your ancestors once possessed. It will be yours again. He will give you a good life and make you more numerous than your ancestors. So yes, guys, that's the lesson for today. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope you learned a lot. And if you did, like and subscribe and share. Anyway, I hope you have a blessed week. Thokozani.